Hello and welcome to Moving Iron Podcast number 265. This edition of Moving Iron Podcast is brought to you by Axon Tire, helping dealers move more iron for the past 100 years. For information, go to axontire.com. We're getting your hand over there, Aaron.
Well, funny you should ask. This happens to be their current promotion, a Firestone Ag, very sweet Swiss Forge flashlight with a window breaker and a bale twine cutter. He said it's for seat belts.
Seatbelt cutter.
No, it's for bale twine.
Either one of those would be great. So if you want one of those, Aaron, how do you get one?
Well, anybody who emails marketing@axontire.com fills out their information quick, they will get this knife, and it even comes in a cool little tin box. Yeah, it's nice. Fancy.
Real fancy.
Fancy. And it's a hell of a nice flashlight. So there you go.
So you got to do is send an email to marketing@axontire.com.
There you go.
Valley Transportation has been hauling ag and construction equipment across the country for the past 33 years. For more information, call Parker at 800-657-4910 for all your trucking needs at Valley Transportation. Our goal is to help you reach yours.
No matter how you buy your ag equipment, dealer, auction, or private party, AgDirect can finance it. You can even apply online at agdirect.com and learn more about your financing options at the same site, agdirect.com.
There you go. All right. So this is the, it's that time of the year.
It is.
You've got a million things going on right now. You got planning going on. Most places are starting that up, but the one,
hopefully most guys are wrapped up.
Get close. Most people are getting close. The one thing that this time of the year brings along with it that is ever so as hectic, if not, I don't know, crazy time frame is baling season, right? It's first cutting right now. So depending on where you're at, if you're down south, someplace you probably had 2 cuttings by now, but or you're getting ready to go into your second cutting or something like that. But here in the middle of the country, North Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, either are currently going through their first cutting or they are getting ready to start the first cutting. And we're out here getting ready to start our first cutting. So looking around right now, I mean, we got some pretty timely rains that kind of gave everything a good quick run up. We had, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches of rain over the last 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
So we've had a pretty good amount of rain come through.
Wow. We didn't get that the last year.
No. And that put us up about 3 inches for the year. So,
yep. Now we're back to zero. We were negative for a while. We actually went under zero because was that April or May? Yeah, that was April.
Yeah.
It was like 70 every day.
Yep.
And 50-mile-an-hour winds the whole damn month.
It was gross. But
silly.
Nonetheless, we are sitting now in a situation where 2 things are happening. One, you're laying down off prairie hay, alfalfa, whatever it is that you're laying down. Some guys are looking at doing some like laying down oats or laying down some wheat, those kind of things going into chopping season, those kind of things. So those 2 things kind of go hand in hand with that first cutting. Not necessarily baling at all, but you're going to turn some of it into haylage of some sort.
Right.
Maybe that out there, that situation too. So right now,
regardless of form,
right,
it's feed.
It's feed. We're cutting feed.
Right? There you go.
So as you take a look right now, Aaron, and you see baler market, you see windrower market, you see big square balers, you see all these rakes, all that kind of stuff coming into play.
Support equipment.
There you go. All that stuff starts to play into that. There's as much demand now as there has been.
Correct.
For balers in general.
Absolutely. Yep. The kind of since the first of the year, the used, let me phrase that, good used 3x4, 4x4 market has been pretty good. It took, and you can tell the big square baler is more of the we use this in irrigated and we sell a lot of this, even when you get down to the second or third tier baler, it's still going to that environment.
Yes.
Whereas the round baler is typically the guy who put that into the round shape is the guy who feeds it to whatever animals he owns.
Right. Right.
Round balers were a ghost till we got these rains.
Yeah.
Now it is bing, 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 bing. I mean, 535 to 569 or what is it? 560R. The 569 premium is a 560R.
Right.
Right. We sell mostly M's, so forgive me.
Yep.
But that market from a used anything all the way to new is just blasted in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's no kidding. I mean, it's really taken off and run, and you're seeing a significant amount of people that are looking for, what I'm looking for here. They're really just looking for that. They're just looking to upgrade, right?
Right.
I mean, they've got an opportunity.
And here you go.
It's high too. Yeah, it has a lot
Exactly. Absolutely. And what happens this time of year for a lot of, I get to say us, for a lot of us that, the ranchers, that kind of thing, do a lot of, they might do a circle of feed, a circle of alfalfa. Everything else is mostly grass,
right?
Yep. Go chase down the meadows. Those guys have all brought their balers in the last month for their winter inspections and have them looked at. And that is helping ching, ching, the baler market too.
Yep.
Because those guys are also creating a brand new fresh trade that everybody's going after. So it is a massive exodus of sorts.
No, I think you see plenty of good opportunity in the market. That's the one market that is very seasonal.
Oh, absolutely.
But that being said, this last couple of years, since this time last spring has not been a real downtime in balers.
No,
and windrowers for that matter too.
Right. Virtually nothing.
Right.
But round balers are typically everybody your focus May and June.
Right.
If a guy buys one in July, he had problems.
Something happened.
After that, he had problems. And then once they get done, you get to September 1st, zero again. Well, park them out back and bring them up to the front in April, because they ain't going anywhere.
Yep. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the difference between the auger, sickle bar, and the rotary. I'm talking like the platform style idea, where you're laying down prairie hay.
Disc or sickle.
Yeah. So are you discing, are you sickling? Which one is it that you think? I mean, obviously right now, I mean, it's a rotary head is really kind of even stepping into the prairie hay marketplace. You're starting to see some more action there, but that's still the guy wants the 35 foot, the 30 foot, the 18 foot, 16 foot, whatever it is, sickle head that you're seeing come in there. More and more of these machines that with the big heads in the front of them, with some of these windrows and stuff like that, with the big 35 and 40 foot draper head and stuff like that, you're looking at something like canola, or they're laying down.
Right. Yeah. They're not hay.
Right. They're windrowing something, but so much more of that stuff's getting to be so much more direct cut that you're starting to see that there's getting to be a bit of a pinch point in there. But let's just stick to the prairie hay, alfalfa,
just hay,
just straight up hay. When you're looking at right now and you want to say guy comes into you with a, whatever model of sickle head machine, what conversations you having and who, because it seems like the auger head, the sickle head is making just a little bit of a comeback.
The reason for that, especially locally, the reason for that is pull up the drought monitor.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
As a sickle man, a diehard sickle man, and that's because I just do grass hay. If I was doing irrigated, I'd be doing that stuff at 10 mile an hour auto steer myself, but that doesn't happen. So the thing is, the reason the sickle is becoming a bigger deal, there's way less of them out there. sold new every year.
Right.
Way, way, way less. Okay. You have certain companies that don't make a sickle head.
Mm-hmm.
So that shortens the population. And then you have the basically what, at least 3-year drought for about the whole western third of the country. For us, it's at least 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you got all these, I'll call them owner operator versus a big commercial guy.
Right.
Your owner operator has got a 4890, a 9325 Heston or whatever it is. Right. And it's time to upgrade. And he knows it hasn't rained, it's droughty, and whatever grows is going to be short.
Sure.
That's your only option.
Right.
Because a sickle, I've seen it done, and yeah, you can change your pitch and change the knife pitch and slow the head down and mess with ground speed. But when you are in short grass hay, like, oh, great, this is straight out of my mouth. Ooh, this field's knee high. This will be great.
Right.
Should be waste.
Right.
But,
right.
That's kind of what you're dealing in. Now, you get the other side of 8135, whatever you want to call it. Big difference. You can mow prairie hay all day with that because it rains and it's tall and it's growth.
Yeah.
But you get in the mountain, and the entire mountain time zone, pretty much, it's typically sickle winds grass.
Yeah. Because even up
and that's why. It's just because owner operator, light, short hay, it is what it is, and that's the machine that does the best job in it.
Yeah. Because even in the mountain meadows, they still use a lot of augers up there because they have the moisture up there,
right?
But the problem is the elevation. So I mean, it's not like you're going to get waist high grass at 10,000 feet.
Well, and we, just like the sand hills.
Sure.
Every year that they're laying down hay and the tires are dripping, then they have a year where, oh God, now what?
Yeah.
And that is why those guys, when they have the years for the disc, they typically don't lean that way, because when push comes to shove and it's short and light, they're going to need the sickle again.
Right.
So,
okay, so let's jump over and talk about the rotary heads and what we see happening there with those. Now you start looking at true production, alfalfa, pivot alfalfa, and all. I mean, you're talking like you're growing
high value alfalfa production,
those kind of things. Two things come into play there. One is you've got your windrow and
speed,
speed, a lot of that, but you're doing one of two things. Either you're laying it down to either bale or chop.
Right.
And you see there's two different kinds of variations that come on the market here of late, and most of them have been around for a long time, but you've had the rotary head out for ever. You've had the triple mount mower tractor situation. That's been around forever. It's been in Europe forever. That's been a big thing. US hasn't necessarily been, I would probably say the last 10 years that really kind of gravitated and took hold. And
that's because one guy saw the picture of it in Europe and it had fat tires. They weren't 480 tires. Right. Well, that's never going to work here.
Why am I supposed to just
this is America. We run two sizes of tires, 480 and 520.
Then you have like the big M, that kind of thing, that deal with it's,
that deal.
But that whole concept of laying it down as fast as you can lay it down, and then not necessarily run it through a different kind of conditioner and those kind of things, to where you're really cracking it to really open it up and let it dry out. Where do you see that traction right now? Are you seeing more people that are saying, hey, you know what, this triple mount mower thing makes a lot of sense because now I've got an additional tractor that I can do stuff with, depending on what size of machine you're putting it on, right? Or are you seeing more people still kind of gravitate towards that 16-foot rotary head?
Okay.
For that specific issue.
For the specific high value production alfalfa guy, typically still very much windrower heavy. Where the triple mount seems to shine is the dairy and feedlot that do their own farming, their own feed production, it is the absolute love affair of those guys, because you have a 300 horse tractor to use on the farm, and you have a 30-foot, 15 mile an hour windrower. It's perfect.
Yep. I think also the same point on that too is the guys that are using a triple mount style mower aren't necessarily laying it down to bale.
Right.
They're laying it down to chop into haylage.
Yeah, I would say you're probably, I wouldn't say all the way to 70-30, but maybe it's more than,
it's a 50-50 for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I'd say 60-40.
Okay.
Minimum.
Yep. And I think there's some back home, there's some big alfalfa outfits out there, and they've got, 5 or 6 rotary heads out there running around, and they're baling some of it, they're chopping some of it. I mean, it just depends on what it is they're doing. So it's all running across the same platform, but they have, it seems like to me that the rotary head, we see a lot more action in areas where it rains a lot or heavily irrigated areas.
Right. Oh yeah. Yes.
And then even in the areas where they're doing we've seen some guys out with corn stalks, doing the rotary head with corn stalks. You've seen some guys out there doing those kind of things where they're just kind of scraping it around to see what they can come up with. Yeah.
I've seen that too. And the thought is that the vacuum of that head will suck a lot of it up. It's not a good idea. It's a good way to wear everything out.
Yeah. It's kind of what
that's about it.
Yeah.
Because you're just running something, you're just so much dirt. Yeah. But on to the like feed. Okay. Sudan grass,
yep.
Pearl millet, whatever. That anything can go cut alfalfa. Okay. My X300 will go make an alfalfa field look pretty.
Yeah.
But where those things really shine, and I think this is probably why even a custom hay guy, for sure, the owner, operator, farmer, producer, rancher guy, but even a custom guy that isn't we have 12 circles of premium dairy alfalfa, not that guy, but Joe Blow custom guy that does everything. Those guys typically love that rotary because that is where they really, really, really shine.
Yeah.
Because of the power. They have so much power. And it kills me that this header, when it's down on the ground, is just a steel hood that is what, 2 feet, 2.5. It's not 3 feet tall. The front of that hood.
Oh no, it's
2 feet tall, 2.5 feet tall. And you can shove 8-foot shit into that, and it just rump.
Yep.
Don't stick your hand in there, Billy.
That's it. Didn't know turtle shells could bite. Hey,
they will.
They will bite you good. All right, last topic, because I know you got to get going. Can't not talk about the 150 to 200 horsepower tractor when we're talking about hay. Right now, that's a big. That's been a pretty steady supply of machines.
It was the. I'll tweak that a little bit. 120 to 180. Okay. That tractor was the one tractor from January to April you could buy.
Yeah.
Now you got a better chance of getting an 8 or 9 bot than that one.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah. Because we have that's a big bread and butter tractor for us.
Yep.
We do a lot of them. I was able to move a couple of them, and you just think that guys, these are still made in a factory too. They still have supply issues. Like now is the time. Some of our hay guys, I'm like, hey, do you guys know I can get loader tractors now? I'm not going to be able to later. Well, it's later. Right. Hey, can you check on this one for me? I'm like,
yes.
Yep.
There's not the loader side of it, the grapple side of it, loader grapple combination. That those machines are, like you said, one of the core functions of what we do out here, because we do so much cattle production out here. We do so much
the beef state.
Yeah, that's why they call it the beef state. But you have plenty of opportunity to really see that some things shake loose out here. So to me, I'm unlike other lines of equipment, like you just said, no, it's hard to find one, but there's going to be enough supply of those machines to start trickling back in. But it all goes back to supply and availability coming out of the factory, just like everything else is. But
this is the one part that is neat with the mechanical front loader tractor. It actually is helped by the thing that hurts combines, right? We don't have planter problems anymore because people don't load up planters and go down the trail, right? Because the harvester business is what floods combine population. Department of Roads mowing, saving grace for those for that loader tractor, because whatever business, and they hit at a different time.
Yeah,
they hit when they're done.
Right,
we're done. Come get it out of here, or bring it back, and it keeps that trickle all the time. You typically, in the couple months ago, early spring, it's super hot for those, calving season. Like, we're feeding every single day with this, and we need to upgrade loader tractors. That's kind of when that happens. Or if you get a real hard cold winter, that's good on loader tractor upgrades too. But those hit, kind of for your going into year end buy-in, and you get that they show up in the fall, and it's a new flush, and here we go.
Yep, absolutely. No, yeah, it's definitely one of those, that whole spectrum of hay tools, whether it's the Ford side of it or whether it's the baler side of it, but that things that kind of make it all run together, kind of all hinge around that loader tractor,
right?
Because you're moving bales with it, you're moving your bale
carrier, it does everything.
It does everything
on a livestock first, even if the guy farms, but a livestock first mindset operation. The main loader tractor is even more important than his pickup.
Yep, absolutely. Okay,
trust me.
All right, good stuff as usual, man. I think that's a pretty good place to stop. So, Aaron, if you had folks want to reach out to you and get more information about what it is you got going on, what's the best way to do that?
Several options.
Well, good.
Call me, text me, 308-760-1193. Email me, aaron.fintel@movingironllc.com. I am on Facebook. I am pretty active on Twitter @AaronFintel, and also on LinkedIn. So throw a dart at the board. We'll be there.
Right on. I'm Casey Seymour. You can find me on @Moving Iron LLC on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Moving Iron Podcast on LinkedIn, and also the Moving Iron Podcast YouTube channel, obviously on YouTube. So check that out. If you're interested in seeing the videos of what we do here and the guests that we've got on, make sure you check that out over there. If you're interested in seeing more information about the Moving Iron Podcast, go to movingironllc.com. You'll get the entire library of the Moving Iron Podcast, all the blogs that I've written, as well as all the information for the Moving Iron Summit coming up here in Nashville, Tennessee, September 6th, 7th, and 8th. If you're interested in coming to that, if you're a dealer of any kind, shape, size, doesn't matter. If you're interested in coming to that, hit me up at Moving Iron Podcast at movingironpodcast.com, and I can get you more information about that. If you don't need any more information, you can sign up right there. All the agendas and speakers and times and costs and all that stuff are right there on the website. So with that, I am Casey Seymour with Aaron Fennell. Let's go smart, folks. Out.
Moving iron in the 21st century. Hard-working people working hard for you and me. Moving iron, time and